Hi everyone, here we are at the Killingley Public Library to have more fun with plants. Today we'll tackle a repotting job. There are a few different reasons why you might want to repot your plant. Number one is if your plant has just basically outgrown its pot. And also, usually when you buy plants, they're in teeny tiny little pots. Some plants like to be pot bound so that their roots are cramped together, like African violets and peace lilies and Christmas cactus. You can look up online if you have any need to figure that out. Another reason to repot your plant is that this one is getting a little top heavy. Eventually it will fall over. So that's one reason. And maybe your plant isn't in the proper pot for that particular plant. Might need to get more air or might need to keep more water. And also maybe your soil has become depleted after many years. It just kind of will just crumble up and not be nutritious anymore. And also you may just hate the pot that your plant is in and you want to put it into something more pleasing to you. So there's basically three different kinds of pots. A clay pot, this is good for plants that don't need to retain moisture, like succulents and cactus plants and Christmas cactuses, geraniums also. Then you can have a plant in a ceramic pot. This keeps more water in and they're much more decorative. Or you could have a plastic pot, which is very serviceable. It's good for a plant that needs to be kept moist, and it's also good if you're not too good on your watering schedule. The only thing that I recommend for any kind of pot is that you have a drainage hole. You don't want your pot to retain so much water that the plant will drown. So today we're going to repot one little plant. This is an Easter cactus. It needs to be repotted because the plastic pot doesn't weigh enough to keep it stable. So that's a real simple, easy reason to repot your plant. Best way to get your plant out of the pot is to put your fingers on the soil surface, flip it upside down, and give it a good solid whack. And out it came. You might have to whack it a couple times or turn it around and whack it in a different place. If you have something that's really pot bound, you might have to break the pot. This Easter cactus is an epiphyte, which means it doesn't live on the ground in the soil. It lives in the treetops, like orchids. So it doesn't really need a lot of soil, and it needs to have a lot of air circulation. I've made a little special mixture by adding perlite to a regular potting soil. Perlite is a natural material. It's made from volcanic glass. When the lava cools down, it solidifies, but there's some moisture trapped in there. So to make the perlite, they mine the volcanic glass, then they heat it to 1600 degrees Fahrenheit, and it pops, just like popcorn. In fact, if your popcorn is too dry, it won't pop. And this stuff is incredibly light. It lets the air circulate nicely in with your potting soil. So I've made up a mixture of regular potting soil with a handful of the perlite. I have my little pot with a hole in the bottom, and I'm going to put a piece of broken pottery on top of the hole so the soil won't flow through, but the water can go through. So my special mixture. I want to plant this little guy so that the level of the soil is about 1/2 inch below the level of the pot. That'll allow me enough room to get it watered nicely. So I put so much in. sometimes you have to just put a little in the bottom and then add the rest around the sides. Got to cut some of these roots to stimulate their growth. Into the pot. Then I'll try to get this down around the edges. Pat it down firmly. Another trick you can do to make the soil settle is to just tap it. And when you water it, the soil might settle even more. You might have to add a little bit more. So there we are. He's in a nice appropriate pot, all ready to go. This plant will go outside in the summertime and be quite happy. Have fun with your plants.